Good evening, good afternoon. I know I am here again. This is my second stream tonight. I never done this before, but hi, Mikkel. It's just the situation that I was still thinking, and that I have ended the stream a little bit prematurely, because I wanted to speak about something, and then somehow I was interrupted by a ring of the bell on the door, and I finished the stream. And I was thinking, like, would I like to continue today or not? But I think it's necessary to finalize the topic of the Holy Diamond. So please, those of you that are watching right now, it's great that you are watching. This is live, but please don't omit the previous video from today. So that's the part one. This is part two. So just for those of you that might be joining in soon or might be watching this, we are discussing Goetia as such, and also very important part of magical practice, known by many practitioners, occult schools, and this is by many, this is called Holy Guardian Angel, or HGA. I understand in mostly with our colleagues and friends in the US. This was the terminology widely used by Thelemites, Aleister Crowley, and I think it's quite passing, to say about it like what it is. But as the times go on, and I think Crowley was, I have to say, he was a genius. I'm not judging his morality or nothing like that. Geniuses, they have their own way how to explain things, how they are, and so on. And magic does not make us saints. But definitely he was in contact with something, but he was using the words of his time. And I think that modern occultism understanding of the situation is everything in magic, it's part of so-called zeitgeist. So it's different to read an occult book that was written 50 years ago, 60, 100 years ago. Those books that were written 300s, 400s years ago, if you read now Paracelsus, or as I was discussing in the previous video a little bit about him, or you are delving into the occult philosophy books of Agrippa of Nettesheim, these are gems. They contain a lot of very interesting information, but it's lost in very ancient language, things that are complicated for us to know. A lot of things are lost in translation. It went from Latin to German to English to different translations, and it's difficult. You have to get into that mindset of those that were writing it, and for that, a person needs to really have a lot of patience. And also, I think that zeitgeist, the time of current era, is changing our perception of magic. I wonder how it will look like in maybe 20 years or 30 years, whether there will be some kind of YouTube. Probably not. Probably it will be some virtual area where we can exchange information. But maybe these videos will be still could be seen somewhere, and it might be funny for people in 20, 30 years to, maybe, hopefully not, but some of it might be considered a little bit out of touch of that era. So the same goes with Crowley, and with his description of hi vegetable farm. Yeah, we haven't I haven't seen you for some time. So all of this seems to be when we speak about Crowley, he was using the words like angels, holy guardian angels, a lot of things that are maybe coming out of his Christian backgrounds. He was living with a mother that was very religious. Of course, he was anti-religious. So, and of course, he was using a lot of sources, mostly from medieval magic. So, spirits, as we understand them, maybe right now, or entities, or some kind of mm, archetypes by Jungians. I don't like the term very much, but okay, we call them differently. But the term angel is something that is created mostly by coming from the Christian description. Yeah, and maybe even the occultist of the 15th century understands angels differently, as they were maybe understood by common folk. Yeah, if you read books like John Dee or those that were like trying to uh, create books and write books about Enochian keys. Yeah, angels are more like angles, like specific mathematic formula of higher non-Euclidean magic or rules, that these are really like energies or rules that set up the matrix of the current world, some metaphysical entities of higher order, very difficult to reach, that they try to have some specific function. And we understand angels mostly from the Bible, or from the books that are very allegorical, yeah, and also from the old Hebrew literature. And we understand them mostly from the visions of saints. Like it's all colored with the through the minds of people in the medieval time. So we speak about a holy guardian angel. If you say this word to someone that is not working with magic, or is very new to it, or just reads it from some kind of standard esoteric literature, they will probably imagine, but imagination is always very strong, but they will imagine maybe a being with the wings, yeah, that stands behind your back and try to help you in case something bad happens. And in a way, yes. Like a holy guardian angel can be perceived like this, and by many is. Yeah, there are so many saints that during the difficult Ambrose or Athanasius, they were living in the desert. They were being uh, they were being attacked by the demons, meaning their really darkest desires, things like that. They wanted to go to see the truth, to go through the veil, and of course, all of these things, this Maya, as Buddhists would say, were coming up to them, like their innermost fantasies of lust, sexuality, hunger. They were starving, so they were. It was demons practically to them. It was they saw it in that way, and they were asking for help. They were praying to God as to the highest instance of order, to get into it, to see the truth, to be given mercy. And even Abraham Elin, who is a Jew, yeah, says that, and in many books that are mostly coming from Christian areas, like the Book of Honorius. It's always heavy prayers when you want to achieve some kind of magical effect, or you would like to meet with this uh, to achieve something magical. You ask angels for help. You command devils through the names of the god, and so on. And that imagination of the medieval people was mostly that they saw them from the descriptions of the Bible, and they saw them as an angels. But real practitioners, or the practitioners that were I don't say that the saints was seeing something wrongly if we call them saints, but maybe Orthodox Christians would call them saints. Protestants don't understand sainthood as such, but okay, that's another topic. But they saw it through the prisma of their belief, and that's something that we see always in magic. Currently, a lot of practitioners of left hand path of Goetia, they also have visions when they are working with some kind of spiritual entities from lesser key of Solomon, 72 spirits. I made a lot of videos about those. And when I started to do it years ago, it helped me a lot to imagine them according to the descriptions in the book. Okay, Belial is shown like this, like Asmodeus, beast with the wings, and so on. And the imagination is very strong part of all of this. Yeah, without the imagination is the key. Yeah, so you have to, and I think there are schools that are saying that imagination is that chaos magicians don't want to perceive them like this. But for the medieval people, holy guardian angel was an angelic being with wings. Crowley, or even let's go back. John Dee or Renaissance magicians don't see them as this way. Old Hebrew literature does not see angels like this. They saw them as terrifying images of that they can hardly describe. Sefer Yetzirah, these old Kabbalistic books. In Zohar, there are mentionings of angels as terrifying beings that practically take your mind if you see them, because you can't grasp the complexity, the metaphysical function of things that are beyond our human understanding of things. We see things three-dimensionally, yeah, but you are practically evoking an entity that is, according to some Kabbalists, maybe responsible for the gravitational pull of planets. Yeah, so definitely that energy would look differently. We can maybe just perceive it only through our anthropomorphic visions. So the visions of the angels of the past were not like this. Yeah. Also, in all descriptions, the beings had a lot of wings. So they were terrifying. They might have some anthropomorphic features like snake heads, or wings, or animalistic, called atavistic forms. Atavistic means something primal, yeah, but still. Even those that work with astral and so on, that these things are shimmering, changing always according to your disposition. If you invoke a specific being at specific time of the year, month, position of the planet. If there is, for example, very strong energy of Mars, yeah, a lot of practitioners say that if they try to invoke the old spirits or demons of Goetia, they saw them with weapons in their hands, because of the Martian influence. When it's the sun, they are more kinder. When it's Venus, the spirits might be talkative a little bit more. When it's Pluto there, on the ascent, it's again, it's like when you see if you see my older videos, the disposition or the energy that you are feeling of the same spirit is different, yeah, for during the time of the year, and it's not uniform for any of us. Every one of us can see it differently, but what helps us is these generalizations, these pictures, these things. Yeah, a lot of ladies and gentlemen, that, for example, what is popular now, like I think Lilith is still popular with left-hand path, so they see the person as a sexual succubus or something. If we would ask that someone in 3000 before current era in Sumeria, that they definitely perceived the Lilith too as a demon killing entity that they were afraid of because it would kill their children. Yeah. So, but okay. Yeah. So the spirits or the egregores in astral might change due to time, zeitgeist, things like that. And so goes. I understand, Tulhu, that you don't mind, that you maybe not agree. It's totally fine. Yeah. So the thing is that once you approach, for example, mm, the name like Holy Guardian Angel, yeah, uh, we came to it through this word angel, yeah, and through this very heavy Christian prisma of things. But if we look at it like from the older name, yeah, that it's prevalent mostly in Greek, yeah, so the Greeks were understanding angels differently. They called them by the name daimon, yeah, and they were even like personificating diamonds into several classes. They had names like Agathodaimon, Kakodaimon. Yeah, so Agathodaimon was some kind of like positive or good-willed spirit. Kakodaimonai were spirits that were more negative. Yeah, but they always understood the duality of these beings. Yeah. So uh, there is always this mentioning of daimon, or this. It was not the name Holy Guardian. Yeah, it was not holy. Yeah, the holiness is also something coming from Christian understanding of things. What is holy? Yeah, holiness is not, or sainthood is not something that was understood by the Greeks, but they worked with the name daimon, and it was this inner advisor, as in the previous video I was speaking about Socrates, the Platonian school of thoughts, and so on. I haven't spoken much about philosophy, Pythagorean circles, Euclideans, and so on, but they all understood daimon as someone, as an hidden advisor, this inner whispering entity that might be of help. So does Paracelsus did, and a lot of practitioners in Renaissance and later on. But if you work with, in the previous video, I was speaking about the importance of this diamond. Why so many practitioners are looking for it. Crowley understood it again. It's in many of his books. He gives the daimon, or the gold guardian spirit, or the guardian of the path, two main reasons. Like the holy guardian spirit, in his understanding of telema, is that it's this entity that should help you to cross practically the abyss where you are meeting with the guardian, or the guardian of the path, Coronzon. Yeah, very negative entity that is trying to practically delude you, this so-called Maya, or the spirit that always denies itself and says only untruth, and so on. So, but that's Telemites, and the holy guardian spirit had the functionality of practically telling you your true disposition, to understand what is important for me, what is my own true meaning, or if I'm going to do some kind of decision, the spirit or this angel is going to help you out. What is the right way for you? And it also had the protective function. So if you were able to communicate with your inner daimon, and you are going into some kind of magical operation, and something goes wrong, in that situation, you can ask your inner, your holy guardian spirit for immediate interaction in your behalf, and practically sending some kind of negative energies away, or it will not do the tasks for you, but it's acting as a protective energy. Yeah. Not only protective energy, but really as this inner guardian spirit that you can communicate with. But that's only the basics. To the saints, or to the, as I told this Ambrose or Antonius and so on, the old saints of the 3rd century, the early Christians, this was really a liberator, an angelic energy. Yeah, sometimes they say, I saw Raphael or some archangel coming in, but many times it was some kind of unnamed entity helping them. And to even, for example, John Dee, yeah, they had their own personal, they called it angelic being helping them. Yeah, Socrates never named his own daimon. Yeah, there are some techniques how to maybe know the name of the daimon, but this daimon or this energy, if you are able to connect with it, usually likes to stay hidden. Yeah, it is. You can perceive it. You can, maybe some of people can even see it, but rarely you can see any faces or things like that. If you see it, it's just this the way how you want to see it. It shows itself to you using your subconscious. Yeah. So if you want to see a pink pony, probably, and you think that it's something perfectly fine, maybe a small child might see it in this way. Children can see a lot of things like this. Yeah, they have this imaginary friends. Yeah, so imaginary friend is yeah, they see things. Yeah, so later on the connection is lost. It can be again achieved through very rigorous magical practices of training, meditation. I gave some examples last time, but it usually takes years. Yeah, some returning back to Thelema. Yeah, of course, even Crowley practically tried several times. And then, of course, he was his own connection with the. He was once first when he was practically writing Liber Abba, he was like saying, "Yo." Oh, later on, he started to say that it was the Holy Spirit, the Holy Guardian Spirit, telling me this. Later, then he changed his mind and so on. Later on, probably he admits that he probably was able to get this connection later on. But for every practitioner, is very individual. Some don't even reach to it during the whole life. But I want to move from this general understanding of how we understand Holy Daimon, because, from my previous videos, I spent many years trying to establish some kind of connection, and I was always reaching outside. Yeah, I was always looking for it somewhere else. Yeah, looking for it outside, that it must be next to me or connect. Maybe I will not make much sense now, but for those that are into it, they understand this feeling, that you are practically always searching, and it's within you. Yeah, so the way how to reach this type of connection comes from introspection. Yeah, and one of the key things were really this were some works of Paracelsus to me, but everyone might have different ways. Yeah, the books are not as necessary. For me, it is necessary to gather some knowledge. But Paracelsus was saying this word practically, that we bear this duality in us, the same as old Greeks were saying, agatodaimones, kakodaimones, good, evil, but all in one, yeah, all interconnected through this serpentine energy. Serpentine energy, by the way, in magic, it's also very popular thing. Uh, if you have just a moment, please. I'm sorry to who I have blocked you. So Yeah. If you go through if you go through this type of uh, books, yeah, you realize that the spirit as such is dual, and that the holy guardian spirit as such is maybe not as uh, good or helping, yeah. And now there are two ways, yeah. uh, One might say that this is like a really good entity that is leading you towards like good, positive, morally clear decisions. But Paracelsus is saying that within us, as that the holy guardian spirit is just a mirror of us, and the mirror shows duality because our internal self is dual. We are both. We can have a lot of, like Paracelsus is saying, a lot of animalistic, beast-like things in us, and also we might have a lot of positive, angelic, he calls them, yeah, uh, traits. But one is not without another. And that was something that a lot of magicians that were working with holy guardian spirit felt, that it's not the whole mosaic of the whole puzzle, yeah, that or that it's just one puzzle in the mosaic, yeah, that it leads you towards maybe human like things, but you are losing connection with it's protecting you in some way, but it's not um, totally everything. Or some people, some magicians, like if I understand, for example, German Fraternitas Saturni member, Frater Acker, I think he's Fraternitas Saturni, he says that there might be possibility for two holy guardian angels. Like you have this good thing and bad thing around you, this angel and devil speaking to you, and because it's just a reflection of yourself. Yeah. So if and he says that working with, and I'm coming to the point, sorry for me speaking so much about that, working with demons or with the energies, like we call them, like 72 spirits of lesser key of Solomon, or books from other grimoires of medieval times, Grimoirum Verum and others, yeah, that it's practically that if you connect with the negative entity, you are projecting and connecting something that is also part of you, yeah, because the demons as such might reflect or are closely related to our psyche. I am not saying that they are totally external or internal, but you connect with something that is also part of you. Without your magical active influence, you will be not able to connect with something negative, yeah. But Paracelsus is saying that working with the demons is giving us some kind of power or understanding, but these entities are different from the holy guardian angel, yeah. These entities might represent part of you or are connected with you through your suppressed or not suppressed negative things, like this beast in us, yeah. We connect with the demonic entities through negative, many times through negative emotions. I will answer that, Rob. This is a very good question, yeah. So I will come back to that. I have to put here the star because it's like pinned. I will go back to that. So working with these negative entities is also part of you. You can learn a lot from it. You can command it by the control. I spoke about the control in my previous video. So uh, that's what Paracelsus says, that it's, of course, it's dangerous to work with the negative spirit, but we can command it, as we humans are superior to both of these parts. We decide whether we are human or a beast. Yeah. So, but working with this negative or chthonic, let's say chthonic, or chthonic means uh, death, or death-like, or underworld energies, of course, can be toxic on your health. Yeah, if you are, it can cause depression, mania, a lot of things, fear, yeah, things like that, if you can't control that. So that's why a lot of magicians try to invoke the power of the holy guardian spirit as an anchor. Yeah, anchor, when you that helps you to retain your, let's say, humanity, or so you don't become a prey, literally prey to the demons, because a lot of people that work without kind of internal shielding become crazy. But uh, Paracelsus is saying also another important thing, and that is that many people might ask, why then work with these negative entities? Okay, I don't want any power, I don't want any energy through these negative energies, but we are still somehow pulled towards it. And this is a psychological thing. I don't think that it's something that just because they are so cool, like a lot of people, of course, read this stuff, and they are full of it, and they think like, okay, let's work with demons, that's crazy, that's cool, yeah, it's like Christians don't understand anything, like let's work with them, yeah, no, it has deeper impact. We are fascinated by the darkness, by maybe negativity, by Jungians might say shadows inside us. They represent the other side of the coin, but it's still us. Yeah, every one of us is fascinated. Why are we fascinated by, let's say, in modern time, I don't know, MMA sports, blood, yeah, fight, aggression, yeah. But even normal sports like football, or something where we are fascinated by watching violent content, movies, yeah, things like that, yeah, or looking at sexual raw videos, pornography, very popular thing. Yeah, this all represents some kind of it's a pool that is normal to us, that it's part of us, and that's the way why so many magicians were saying, I don't want to be part of the just the sheep that is protected by the shepherd. Yeah, like we can say that, but that's maybe this is exaggeration, but as Jesus says, and I like Christians. I have to say, they're very nice people. Sometimes don't understand me, but very good guys. There's many of them. Yeah, and they say like Jesus is the shepherd of the sheep, and I don't want to say that people are sheep. Yeah, but because it gives protection. But this over focus on being good, like don't do anything bad, like stay under control, always love your neighbor, always love, show other face, do things like that. Mm, beautiful, noble ideas, but imagine that uh, how these saints ended, that they were trying to follow this ideal, this ideal of be holy without sin. Yeah, they say that no one is able to be without sin, even in Christian method, Christian understanding of things. No one is without sin, only Jesus, like God, because he's the representation of the highest instance in the world practically. And for some, of course, Holy Mary for to the Roman Christians, but Protestants don't understand that way. They say that she is sinful. Oh, okay, that's up to the discussion. But how they ended. If you read the histories of the saints from early Christianity, that many of them got crazy because they were trying to suppress. My understanding, yeah, was that they were trying to suppress part of themselves. They were not. They were fighting the part of being a wolf, being an animal. These atavistic things that we have in our hippocampus somewhere there, yeah. But I don't say that let's embrace now these things, but uh, it is something that you can't be without. The demons are not going away; they will always stay in your head, even if you are trying to be so good as possible. Then you are they call it temptations, yeah, but it's not temptation. It's probably it's something like your subconsciousness telling you that something is not right with you. You are like over focused on something. But uh, the reason of magician is to control through will, yeah, to be able to manage to be kind if it's necessary, or if it's good to be kind, if someone is deserving the kindness. You can be even like very helpful, but even Christ told that. He was saying like, love yourself first, yeah, love other as you love yourself, yeah. So this is known thing, yeah, no, probably all of you heard it, like, but he's practically saying self-preservation, self-control, even in love. So working with holy angel as and I'm returning back to this pinned comment by Rope. How does a holy guardian angel relate to higher self? Some people say it's basically the same thing. What is your view on this? Paracelsus or medieval magicians didn't understood higher self as such. Yeah, there is a very big discussion about this, coming mostly from Origen. Origen uh, was a philosopher in early Christianity. Later on, he was abolished by church. Yeah, so maybe so he did not become the first like this those that make doctrines, yeah, like Anselm or others. He had very, but he spoke about the triplicity of soul. Yeah, so practically he's saying yes that and that soul is made from different parts. Yeah, that there is this higher soul, there is the soul living in our body, and then there is something lower soul. So he practically says that there might be something very low in us, yeah, something primal, something atavistic. That was against the teaching of the church, because soul in the face of or in understanding of the later or his contemporaries was something holy, something clean, something that can't be tainted. Yes, souls are going to heaven later on. Souls can't be tainted by sin, because souls are going to heaven. Yeah. So but Origen, I think, thought from it mostly from the psychological point of view. He understood that the human complexity, even the spirituality of human, is not that easy, not that simple. That there is just one soul. Yeah. So, and this is something that was already probably in other forms discussed by Egyptians, Ba and Ka, different lower soul, higher soul. They even had like others. But so, to answer your question, maybe it is and yes and no. I think we are connecting with the holy guardian angel through our higher self, I would say, but my understanding. But it's not higher self itself. It can act as an outside of us. It can act. It's not only part of us. It's not only internal. It's external. I would say that the holy guardian angel might be projected through our higher self, but it's separate, although connected with the entity with us. Yeah, that's why it is so powerful. We are really speaking magic here, really an entity. By some, again, I will return back to Frater Ecker. I consider this gentleman a very, very advanced magician in Germany. Many books are written by him. For example, Holy Daimon, Holy Heretics. I will be doing some reviews. And he says that that this holy guardian spirit is like a spiritual twin, partly, that it has its own ethereal body that you, if you are very advanced, can connect with, and you can even like exchange that, because what this holy guardian angel, if it is connected with us, there is a question why it wants to help us. If it is external, if it is not only our higher self, but it's something really guarding us, why? And I mean, all of the, or the majority of the practitioners say that it's wanting to have the experience of flesh, or the experience of material sphere. It's interested in connection, in seeing the emotions. So it wants to help. It really wants to help. It's not negative. It's not asking for anything bad. Yeah, it's really protective. It's related to us, but it is fascinated by the physicality. And we know from the from many books that angels are fascinated by, or these higher beings are fascinated by the sphere that we are living in. Yeah, by this material thing. Yeah, so many, according to these old Manichaean prophecies, and were practically lost, were stamped it so much that they fell on the earth. Yeah, and then there are these myths of fallen angels and so on. But all of them are interested to speak to humans. Some old Jewish books are writing, mostly Kabbalistical, are writing that it is that they are not like willing to be translated into us, to possess the body, to feel the body, but they are interested in humans, the good ones. Yeah, are interested in humans because they see in humanity the reflection of God, because we were made on the image. So they are adoring, yeah, although that we are like made from heavy matter. Yeah, so these are all interesting things, a lot of theories about the holy guardian angel, why it wants to help. So, but for the magicians, the practitioner, at the end, it does. Yeah, so it does help, but the connection is very difficult to achieve. You have to have very clean higher self. So yes, I think that to be able to act with or to be connected with the holy guardian angel, you have to be acting morally within yourself. Yeah. So, and now we might speak a lot about what is moral and what is not. It's the moral. It's like human morality that applies, that we have to go like this to be able to connect with this higher self. I don't think so. But also, I don't think that we have to be like doing what we want. Even Crowley speaking like, "Do what you will shall be the whole law," does not mean that he's going to be like crazy maniac doing. He did a lot of crazy things, but he was not trying to harm people willingly. Because if you are going into the spree of negativity, if you want to become, then it puts you away from this connection. It's not, maybe because it's not like your true purpose to be manipulative towards others, because at the end you are just mirroring some kind of negativity that it's end up with you. It's a lot of sect leaders, the people that are get fooled by their own importance. It's many times sect leaders. We have so many of them here in Czech Republic. I'm recently interested quite about this. Maybe I will be doing some videos about sects, but so and this is interesting what Black Magic Society is saying. In some medieval texts on exorcism, we see that both God and angels can also possess. That's true. Yeah, like Anna, or even Mary. Yeah, she was possessed practically, and the spirit came into her. Yeah, so it's that there are, and it's not only them. There are so many others. They got into this divine craziness. Yeah, and also in the Ezekiel, for example, in an Old Testament. So that's very interesting thing. So they are able uh, to practically possess us. Yeah. Although maybe Christians wouldn't like the word possess, but they can. Yeah. It is, however, the thing is that the communication with the spirit. Yeah. Once you establish this connection through mostly through introspection, meditations, looking for it, asking for it, silence, periods of silence, solitude, and so on, it can appear to you in different ways. And in my previous video, oh, Lady L, it's good to know. Thank you. It's just that if everyone, or as many people are able to get into it, they perceive it differently. Does not have to be an angel to us. Yeah, that was practically the end of the first, what I started to say at the beginning. It does not have to look like angel. Yeah, or it does not have to appear in visions at all. You might not see it directly. Many people don't. Yeah, me personally don't. Yeah, but you can get into the silent communication if needed, when needed, and when you are actively searching for it. Where the more you go into it, the more you have this, like, it tells you things, but not like words. Yeah, it's not schizophrenia, that you hear something. It's just this very internal gut feeling, sometimes visions or even emotions. But these emotions are positive; they are not negative. On the contrary, the spirits of Goetia or chthonic spirits, they work many times with negative emotions. If you are working with a lot of energies like this, you have even waves of these emotions. And for some, if we are not anchored, then we become prey to it. It's very hard to resist, and it works in very intricate ways. I can tell you, I worked with these energies before my internal connection with my something, let's say daimon, and it caused me a lot of pain. Yeah, these type of things, even if you use. So I am saying, once you start, it's a reward to get into it. It's not that you must reach your holy guardian spirit first, because it's very difficult. Yeah, and it's possible, but it's difficult. But start really with this anchoring. Yeah, try to create your own, be of a healthy mindset. Really, that is something that is necessary, and a healthy mindset is achieved by rigorous trainings, meditations mostly. Yeah, or healthy activities and things. I'm a little bit older now. But this is something that you have to keep all the time. And then it makes your work with these other spirits much easier. Coming to the other thing that a lot of people say, that the holy guardian angel, although it's helping us, it's part of us, or it's not part, it's part, or it's connected. It's not everything that we have inside. We have inside all of these 72 demons of Goetia and much more. Yeah. Now, don't get afraid or paranoid, because this is the worst thing that everyone can do. Yeah? If someone will just take this part of my video, we have all of the demons inside. Yeah, like we can connect through our shadow. Yeah, or I don't know the better word for it right now. Or we can see this one part of the soul, speaking by origin terms. Yeah. And it's about understanding and controlling these type of things. Yeah. many magicians that work with it become prey to it. They become part of the ego trap. Yeah, they think they know everything best. They become messianic. Yeah, they think that they are the new messiahs, or that they are creating some kind of cult. Some can be very successful. Yeah. If you read the grimoires, they are full of spells of magic. I have so many. This is not my library; it's a spiritual, but I have the similar. But and there are so many spells of how to do magic, how to earn money, how to find treasure, how to do this. It's a lot of people are doing this type of spells, but if it's the sole purpose of your journey, you are practically just becoming prey of something. It's like low magic. You will become very. It's like drug addiction on something. Why it did not work? Why it did not work? I will try something else. Yeah. So then the whole journey becomes very toxic. But the deeper meaning of this is really that we have this darkness in us, very strong darkness, and this is what Goetia is about. Goetia, as such, is the term of mourning the dead. Goes, coming from Greek, is the word for mourning the dead. It became from the oldest culturally rites that were part of the humanity. People were always afraid of the dead, of their own dead. From Neolithic times, we see that there were done burial rites. So those that were able to care of the dead, cared of the restless spirits, cared of the bodies. Yeah, they composed. They might bring illness. They might bring vermin in the times. Pest, things like that. People were always afraid of death, but it's part of our life. Death is everywhere. Yeah, and very quick answer. Rubedo is practically the final step. Yeah, it's practically becoming. Through the Nigredo comes Albedo, and then you have the Rubido. So it's practically the finalization of the work. Yeah, that final transmutation. But more, I have a video about it. But I can do maybe more about it. But become just if I'm speaking about this dying or the goetia, yeah, as we understand it now, goetic spirits. Yeah, what is that? Yeah. It comes from Greek. It's the term that the spirits of the dead. Yeah, and they were in medieval times. They were renamed many times. In my previous video, someone asked me whether I worked with the death energy current. Of course, everyone does. Even I would say Christians, when they are having like the rites, when they are remembering the dead and so on, it's prevalent in all humanity. Yeah, so calcination and dissolution. Yeah, it's interesting. There are more steps. I am not very big into alchemy. I can make a video about it, but it would be totally different topic, but very important. The dying, it's part of our everyday, and I don't want to sound depressing, but the dying is everywhere. Your cells die daily, millions of them, or billions even, I think. Every day, your organs are still trying to replicate the new tissues, and until the whole cycle somehow becomes not so effective, you become older. I am dying. Yeah, my hairs are gray. Not, I hope not now, but you know how I mean it. Who knows? But everyone is dying, and this dying process is everywhere. When I look at my books, the pages become yellow. Yeah, everything. So yes, there are understanding of death is something that is important for a magician. So temporality of things. Current culture, uh, mostly also in Christianity, there is a big fear of death. And then there is this understanding of mercy and rebirth. Yeah, it's the constant fight of for being alive always. Yeah, but magician understands that, or even older cultures, Greeks, Egyptians, Romans, understood death as very important part of their life. A huge amount of energies that we are working with are entropic. So, what are demons? What are these goetic entities? They are they are they are entropic. Yeah. Entropic means they are dissoluting things. And one important practice of magician, although even that it might sound depressing, is the meditation about the death. I know a practitioner that is living. I was doing a video about that practitioner. I don't know him personally because he's living a very secluded life. It's an artist, and he wrote a book. It's more like a photographic manifesto called Archon. And I think I have the book here, but you will find it in my videos. And the gentleman lives somewhere, in I think in this in forests in Europe, in somewhere in Netherlands. Yeah, I think. Yeah, and it's very old, one of the oldest European forests. He moved there. He had some physical issues with his spine, and he is in constant pain. Very famous photographer, and he contemplates in the forest. He's living there alone. The He sees the cycles changing. Yeah, he sees even that the forest is dying because of pollution and things like that. Although it's very old, it's become hotter every year because of the global warmth, and the toxicity coming in from the air, pollution. It's visible now even in the old parts of the air, of the forests, dying and rebirth, dying and rebirth. And every day he lies in his cottage, and even in winter he lies on the ground and he feels and embraces the pain. And he has this meditative technique like that. He feels the pain on his spine, and he feels like, okay, so these are the little demons that are practically causing this pain. But technically, a lot of magicians would say that what is a demon? They can be like, they say, we are a legion. Yeah, like they say also to the Christ. So if we can, what is the, and they say we are everywhere. Yeah, in air, in water, in every living tissue we are, or we can be. Yeah, we can be millions on the top of a needle. Yeah, like medieval books were saying. So but they are still spiritual, astral. They are not astral. These entities can be invoked through astral, and but the closest materialistic thing to them, or we can, if we are looking for some kind of material example of what is the closest thing to a demon, I would say a virus. Something that is they can be millions of them. So it's he is practically feeling millions of demons, how he is saying in his poetic language, slowly decomposing and deforming his spine. And he's making photos of forest and vegetation as it slowly decays. He sees the dead animals, and it's always prevalent. But through the understanding of death, and that he sees that the animal. He was making photos of it might sound nasty to some of you, but he was seeing like some old fox that died, and he was coming to that fox every day. And then the ants come, and then the bugs came, and then it started to be smelly and not nice, and then it decomposed. And in the end, it was nothing, just the leaves and grass. And so the death is always with us. So if you are doing the meditation, always do these dual trainings. First, try to connect with your higher self, like this anchor, and then sometimes do the meditations like everything in you is dying slowly. Might sound terrifying first, but it comes with a relief, with some kind of transcendental quietude. And through this, this is just one of the examples. Frater Acker was also doing the things like meditating over the egg. He was having an egg in his hand. Egg is an interesting thing. It represents life, both unborn and still in waiting. Maybe it will not maybe it will just rot and end to the death. So always think and meditate in duality of things. Yeah. So the Goetia as such is practically working with the other part of ourselves. And I don't want to say that, for example, Lesser Key of Solomon is perfect. Far from it. Yeah, it's a system of 72 demons that were taken, but that are very popular. Yeah, like a lot of people from Left Hand Path, like they call themselves, or I was calling myself like that. I'm not. I don't like to give myself names anymore. I think as a magician, shouldn't you do as well? But it's one of the systems. You have many systems, mostly medieval systems working with the spirits, and especially goetic spirits, this death, dark, the spirits of the death or entropy. One of them is the Lesser Key of Solomon. So it's a nice system because it's practically mostly known. Yeah. 72 spirits representing also 72 numbers, 72 letters of God, but reversed. Yeah, and 72 is important, but it's not all. It's just the representation. And who are these spirits? Are they real, or are they even like? We should avoid full like making them that this is the only thing what it is, and that if you work with the system historically, you will understand that the 72 are just made up. Yeah, it's the names of all gods that were renamed, badly translated to Latin. I made a lot of videos, like let's say like Ashtaroth, yeah, in 72, in Lesser Key of Solomon, it represents male demon. Before that, there are so many names of the gods, Ishtar, Ashtar, Astarti. Yeah, so it changed the name, but and we also know that maybe the zeitgeist was changing these names, but the 72 is not like they are not written in stone. It doesn't mean that these spirits are what's in that book. That's like a Bible. And with this, you have to approach every magical manuscript or something, because first of all, if you invoke some of these spirits, they will act with different types of. They will activate different type of your subconsciousness, so you will perceive them differently. You might perceive them through some occult symbolics, yeah, that some might have the crown or sword, that because the symbols represent some kind of power or character of that spirit. Yeah. Or again, I stand by it. Some people here, I think, don't agree with me, but working with the spirits through specific times of the day or month, of course, then that can provide different type of attributes to the manifesting spirit. Yeah, so in time of Mars, you might see the spirit with a sword in the hand. Normally, it does not have to have. In your visions, it might be like that. But meaning, it's just one. Yeah, and this spirit represents just character or a type. Maybe it's a type of the spirit, or it's just not even the family, because the system is not perfect. Yeah. The best, I think, active spiritual system on the families of spirits, I think, comes mostly from not Western magic, yeah, or partially Western magic, but the best current living systems that characterize, like biologists, this type of family of the spirits are Chimbanda or Vodun, yeah, the African cults. They have very close connection to the animistic energies, and they were able to make, I think, describe and categorize the spirits in much better way that we did through these medieval resources. Yeah. So thank you, Saturnian Demon. Thank you very much, all of you. Yeah. So I don't want to speak much about the systems, but if you are interested, Lesser Key of Solomon is just one of them, or Faustian grimoires. Yeah, there you have these 7 archdevils. I did a video about Aesiel. I haven't finished it because the second part was, I think, different. So, or there are others. Yeah, there are Enochian keys, like 72 again, angels, and so. The way how you can invoke is easier than we think, and this is something that changed my understanding of this. Before I was more like ceremonial, and I am really becoming less ceremonial. Yeah, I think that it's not that necessary. Although you working with the spirits, it's like working with animals that you don't know, so we have to be always careful. Well, because you are opening something in your mind, some gate, probably to something very negative, or if it is external, it's going to affect something in your mind subconsciously. So, and it might even become, it might affect your health, yeah, somehow. Yeah. But let me maybe discuss this more in more detail. So later on. So the holy guardian spirit, more like positive energy, very important to connect with, but it's not the full thing. Yeah, working with the other side of the coin, it's important that you come to the work prepared internally, physically, mentally, and not from, like old magicians would say, selfish things. But what is selfish? I don't want to moralize. Just come to it if you think that you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's totally fine. Not everyone should do it. But expect unknown things to happen. Okay, so questions. Do you think externally match matters? For example, if you tell me that a spirit has a fatherly energy, is it possible for me to manifest it as such? Definitely, yes. That's why I don't like to provide. There is a risk, though, because it's true that some type of spirits that we already know or we have mapped in these grimoires, they tend to show specific attributes. So if we see masculine energy, some kind of specific type of smell, they like specific type of incense. They might use specific type of words or react to specific type of language very strongly. Usually, working with goetic spirits, very important is, for example, using Greek. Greek is stronger than, but it's more for the negative spirits. If you work Latin, it's more for the angelic ones. But of course, so if you understand this, if someone tells you that, and you will see a spirit and he will be in green armor with a gold sword, probably you might see it like that. Yeah, that's why how we like these descriptions of Lesser Key of Solomon, when we see these pictures that were done by Grigor Matters, and later on Crowley also republished them. So that's why so many people like Lesser Key of Solomon because it has pictures. Yeah, so that's why it's so popular. Like Grimoire Verum does not have it. Maybe only some very mixed sigils. Yeah, so it's very so what you someone tells you, that's what you usually see. Other thing is that yes, there might be some attributes of the spirits that they want to show themselves in some zoomorphic forms. Yeah, I made also a video about it. I think it's called about atavism. You can find it that some spirits show themselves in so-called atavistic, animalistic forms, and these forms might represent some type of character of the spirit. So better is to learn a little bit about that. If you see, for example, spirit that has a face of a snake, you know that it's probably snakes represents wisdom in many cultures, or health. So it's probably the spirit that can help you a lot. If you see a dragon, it might be very strong tonic spirit. If you see a little dwarf, that might be something earth-like. Yeah. But many times these visions might be affected by additional factors, and we that's why so many people that are maybe new with magic, they argue, but for me he looked differently than to you. That's totally fine, because your visualizations work differently. But if I work with someone and he wants to invoke a spirit, I very rarely discuss him like what was my view, because then I might affect his way of, I might practically distort the clearness of the vision. Maybe the spirit wants to show himself to you in a different vision that is more important for you to see. But if you expect the angel in green armor, and I told you that it will be green armor, then you will try to reform that vision to your subconscious expectation, and that vision might be not that effective or good. Yeah, you are practically blocking yourself. So we should always, when we are and we should have this open mind. So spirits can represent themselves in many different forms, but they might have some similarities. Yeah, so maybe the spirit will always be wearing something, have a book in his hand or something, and or but might change a lot. Sometimes, okay, for example, let's say the visions of some people say that the devil, or the Lucifer, let's Lucifer is for many people, as this is so many times thought archetype, or many people perceive him differently. Yeah, some magicians are saying that that Lucifer is showing himself as a child too many times, because the child represents but this is more for the medieval people. Yeah, because the child was representing the Christ as baby, and he represented the Antichrist for them. So the Lucifer took the form of Christ itself. Yeah, or for many he was representing. He showed himself in the form of an angel. Yeah, because he tried to subdue them. For many practitioners, though, or for those that were in under Inquisition, was of course when they were like doing processes with the witches. Also, I made a video about that. I'm just putting you to some videos that you haven't seen, because I see that a lot of people haven't seen all of my videos. So there is they showed Lucifer. They saw Lucifer as this classical devil, this devil with that was very smelly, cold. The witches were saying to have like sexual intercourse with him, but the thing was that all of them were saying that once the intercourse happened, astrally, it's not like real physical, but in the mind, the Sabbath was happening. In many practitioners believe in spiritual astral form, so that the sperm of Satan, how they call him, was cold, and that's something that was like ice. Yeah, and they say that, and many people say that. But I would believe that because maybe inquisitions were expecting, because they heard it from one, from second one, in the second witch, and then they were putting it all in the book, and then they started to torture the poor ladies, and they were saying, "So what was the sexual intercourse with the devil? Tell us." And she was like, "Okay, he like approached me, had sex with me. Okay, and what was the the semen of the how it felt like?" And she was, "I don't know, tell us, it was cold, right?" And so everyone was putting it in the same thing. So that's the projection. That's the projection. And but many people, that it's terrible, yeah, of course. So that's but many saw the devil. They call him devil, but I would say Lucifer. Lucifer was is showing himself to, according to many books, in the form of a black cock. But what it represents, this black cock, it's symbolism. The cock is the animal that starts at the morning. Yeah, so he's setting he's starting to uh, he's raising with the day. Yeah, and we know that the Lucifer is considered also like the light bringer. Yeah, so that's interesting vision. If some people saw it as a black cock, so it's practically their subconscious, maybe subconscious, also affected by something else, that the Lucifer was using some kind of archetypical symbolism, and that's very interesting with the spirits. But if someone of you will be doing that, it's not so easy to do that. So don't. But I might have projected something on you right now. I told you maybe three visions, and now you will say, "Oh, I saw exactly the same thing." Maybe it will be totally different. Yeah. So. Ancient echoes. It's a good question. I think we have to remember that the images we have of demons, etc., are made by people. They are a representation, not the thing itself. As Klaus says, take precaution. Exactly. Like I read some article on some occult fora years ago, where there was a nice thought, like, imagine that if there will be Mars civilization living. We know that in Mars, I think there was some water or something, and there are some weird theories that maybe, no, it's not theory, actually it's I think it's proven that Mars lost its atmosphere some millions years ago, due to probably some kind of impact of the meteor. And some theories say that Mars had water. So if there was a water, maybe there was some kind of very simple life. I don't know. But imagine, just science fiction, that there was a real because Mars is still within that life zone as Earth is. So technically, it could be possible. Yeah. So imagine that the Martians would lived there millions years ago, and they would have their own. They would be working probably with the same spirits as us, because spirits are also related to the position of the stars. 72 of the spirits of the Solomon, also the stars. Several stars represent the specific spirit. So their demonology or goetia would be very same to ours. Also, they will be probably using very similar systems, and but they would be seeing probably these entities through totally different eyes, because they will be probably not similar to us. Maybe they will be looking differently. So for them, although these entities that are part of the collective subconscious intelligence, if we say about angels that they are maybe some primal matrices of the world, how it works, they would apply also for them, but they would be seeing them totally differently. Uh, Magister, what's your opinion on evoking and working with egregor concept of ascended grandmaster, such as, let's say, Plato or Socrates, for example? Do you think it's possible? Well, with Goetia as an art of working with the dead, uh, uh, they are real examples or proven examples by some practitioners invoking the spirits or I'm sorry, the people of the past. Yeah. I know that a lot of people, I think, in Germany, for example, that there is an order Fraternitas Saturni, and the magicians were tried to invoke some kind of known. I think it was Athanasius of Nicaea, the famous occultists of their own time. There were examples that people try to invoke Alexander the Great, or Simon the Magus, that is also mentioned in the Bible, and with various success. And some very, I would say, known practitioners say in their books that they were successful, but the spirits always reacted mostly in not very kind way. Like you wouldn't want to be disturbed, I would say. And if you are invoking something, you are probably touching with something, with this spiritual egregore that it is there. Yeah, so I would say it's possible. Yeah. However, evocations of the dead is considered one of the most dangerous magical operations, more dangerous than invoking spirits because or demons, because there you work practically with part of your subconscious, but working here you are trying to invoke literally something totally extra, not from you. Yeah, so you are connecting with something that is not that is going to show itself and might react negatively. Yeah. So they are. I say that I know that there is a lot of like theory. By the way, Ancient Echoes, thank you very much. This is very, 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 very kind of you. Thank you. So I know that there is like a lot of new books about these ancient masters that people tried that, but okay, I will give you a real example. There, a teacher of mine was doing that. Yeah, there is one book. If you will allow me, I will be right back, and I will explain you something. Okay, I'm right back. So this is a good question. Yeah, so I will make it like this again. So let's have a little bit of a horror story. Yeah. So Mr. Wesley is unfortunately the gentleman is. I consider him one of the biggest contemporary Czech magicians. It's old gentleman already. I think retired. He was doing magic for all his life, 40 years. I don't know. And in his book, as he is partially German, the book is Czech. It's a very small book. And he describes a story of so-called sorcerer Jackal. Jackal was an Austrian magician, and it's actually that was living in 15th century. And there was a great witch hunt on this person, because he was leading a gang of young children, and he was able to summon so-called rats to the cities, rats that were attacking people in their own homes, and he will practically asking them like for a ransom, like if you are not going to give me money or so on, I'm going to bring plague, death, and rats that will kill you, or will kill your small children, will kill your cattle, will be doing a lot of things. But you might think like this is a stupid thing, but no, it was like he was a real thing. He had a lot of small children that were stealing, and he was also so you can even search on internet like sorcerer. The name is Jackl. Yeah, it's so in 15th century they never catched him, and this Mr. Wesley, this Czech magician, later on when he was working with the spirits of voodoo, he found out that there is like a family of spirits that tend to be attracted to filth and to the disease, and these are considered very negative chthonic spirits. Yeah, I think it was the spirit cemetery or something. My French is not very good, but he was much better at it than I. And in his own time, he was interested in it because these rats were appearing in the place, attacking people. They even killed children, and think like hundreds of them, thousands of them, appeared in the house from nothing, from nowhere. Yeah, big ones. Yeah, like horror. They killed small cattle, everything, and they disappeared. When the people came in, they found only bones and no rats. Yeah, and he was even able to invoke it that way that like people, he saw some people on the street. If someone looked at him in bad way, the people started to scream because they felt like these rats are coming in their bodies. And at first, he thought like it's some kind of stupid thing, but it was like great hysteria in the 15th century. And why I'm going to your question. In that time, he was really fascinated about it. He even wrote this small book that is unfortunately in Czech, but it's fascinating reading. I think, and they never catched him. They even, but he tried to invoke this sorcerer Jackal. Why I call him sorcerer? He wanted to call himself sorcerer. He didn't want to call himself a magician, because he was illiterate. It's interesting thing. He was totally without any education, nothing. The person could not write, could not, but was ransoming the cities, the medieval cities of the time. And once they even catched him, and when they catched him, he like disappeared straight from their eyes. Very practical. Probably he was able to do a mass hallucination, possessing people just on sight, and see, also the things that are very strong to the people that are from the Gede, from voodoo. But although he was an Austrian, so this Mr. Wesley found similarities that between these spirits, this category of spirits of death and decay, and sorcerer Jackal. Jackal was saying, I am not a magician, I'm a sorcerer, I'm just doing my dark stuff here. Yeah, I just want your money. But he lived in total poverty, in dirtiness, in filth, and he was very young when he started to have this gift. Is expected. He was like 16 years old or 17 years old. Later on, become like a little bit older. So Wesley goes and does the invocation of sorcerer Wesley. I'm sorry, of sorcerer Jackal. Apologies, Mr. Wesley, to learn the secrets of these rats. And I will tell you how he describes this to me, how the operation went, just so you know the danger of this. Mr. Wesley is extremely talented magician with a lot of experience here. So, but for this type of ritual, he tried to use magic mirror made from obsidian. Obsidian is also used is a vulcanite stone, yeah, totally black. Magic mirrors are made from it. Quite expensive thing. It's used by the Aztecs on the old time and so on. But he is using the same mirror that John Dee was trying to read the angels in the 15th century, but not the same one. But he has such a beautiful device of his own. So he is using the standard pentagrammatic the pentagram ritual. He is working on the Kabbalistic cross cleansing and so on. He decides to, in this situation, as it's going to be invocation of the dead, to use the circle, which I strongly recommend. He's using the circle, and he puts the mirror outside. This should be the medium for through which he wants to communicate with Yaakov. He decides to go with the animal offer. Again, some of you might think, but this is dark, really, for this blood is being used. Of course, he's use a rat. Yeah, so he used the blood of the rat on the as a specific, not a very nice smelling form of incense, and the ritual starts. He starts to concentrate on the circle. He's on the mirror. He says certain words of invocation. He decided to use Latin. Not Latin. He decides to use German. Again, in ritual, you have to always keep with your audience. So, if you are going to invoke the spirit of the death, in this case, sorcerer, illiterate from 15th century, and you are going to use Latin, that guy didn't speak Latin. Yeah, he spoke old form of German. Fortunately, Mr. Vesely is well known also as a linguist, so he prepares the ceremonial words of invocation in Old German, and using the words, certain words that, of course, I can say here. He focuses on the ritual. There is a lot of foam, a lot of the smell is not very nice. The blood becomes a little bit like tangled, and something when you work with the mirror, it starts to be a little bit glassy and moving a little bit if you focus on the mirror. To be working with this again, obsidian mirror, it's a lot of concentration, but he knows how to do it. So the mirror starts to shimmer, and he sees something. And he sees a parasite on the other side of the mirror. No Yaakov, no rat, just some kind of like octopus-like parasite that just plops on the mirror from another side and starts to create like this eerie sound, like that it wants to go outside through the mirror to him. Definitely a parasite. Yeah. So Vesely immediately recognizes that he has some small time until not the mirror breaks, but mentally, energetically, it goes through to our materia. So what it will be the results of it? Not maybe psychological attack, some kind of astral larvae that will stick with you, that will connect with you, start to maybe do strange things. Maybe you will get ill or something. So Vesely uses in this kind, he switches to Latin, and he says like akabe, the words in Latin, pushing the spirit away, and the vision of this parasitic being goes away. But the mirror still shimmers, and he says like, Mr. Yaakov, Mr. Yacker, Herr Yaakov, yeah, in German. And from the grayness of this mirror, a face approaches, and this is similar when it's very pale. Yeah, and this is in many types of this type of evocations. This is an evocation. You see pale faces of the dead. Why they are saying like they are bloodless? Yeah, but it's just a face of someone with very dark eyes, very like black eyes under eyes. You know, very old, young, but used with someone who is young but looks like 20 years older through very very hard life, that went hard life. And the person starts to speak to him in German, old German, very difficult to understand. He's saying that it was difficult for him to communicate, but the sound is not like it's in mind, but you hear it, yeah, and it connects with, and it practically told me like, "What do you want from me, Vesely?" Vesely is the name of the magician, and I think he called him Joseph. He says like, Mr. Yakel, he tries to be very polite to the spirit, does not want to anger him. Yeah, that's also very important. Once you are in connection, you can't anger that spirit because it might the circle might not help. Yeah, and he says like, Mr. Yakel, tell me, what's that trick with the rats? Can you tell me how you did that? And what technique you used to be able to create some kind of visuals? And he replied to him something, but so you know the trick. The Yakel was in this old historical documentations was a lot of people were saying that Yakel was always wearing some small pieces of paper. Yeah, it was in that time paper was quite expensive, but he was wearing a small forms of paper that look like small, and he was painting them like rats. Yeah, and he had these small pieces of paper, and he just throw it under your legs or something, and the people start to scream. They saw real rats. But the thing would be, okay, mass hypnosis, that he was able to project that image. But the problem was that the people had like bites. It was not just a vision, it was real. And the bites were like from rats. Yeah, they were even like, so the paper was even they thought that paper, and there were small forms of rats written or painted in some strange blood. So, and he was using the blood of his boys, of these children, to draw these rats. So something very, very dark. Yeah, but still the technique, how to achieve such strong thing, yeah, is very dark and very, very evil magic. But Vesely wants to know, and he asks Yakel, so Mr. Yakel, how did you do that? Do you have the formula for that? Or this is the thing what some magicians, dark magicians, are asking for, you see? Some quite dark stuff. And Yakel is silent in the mirror, and he replies, I can teach you, but why you want to know it, Joseph? You are a scholar. You are living a good life. You are learned in many things. So he starts to give him like this praise. Why you need my low art? Yeah. And if I'm going to teach you, it will change you, because I will teach you such things that will change you. So, and in that situation, Joseph, Joseph Vesely, experienced magicians, understands that if he is going to learn this dark art, he is going to connect, as we have been speaking about the demons and holy guardian angels, with type of spirits that are so entropic, so negative in his mind, that is going to affect him. How? Well, for example, you will lose your feeling for hygiene. Yeah, if you want to work with these type of things, you have to be dirty. You have to stop cleaning yourself for a month. Yeah, more. Yeah, you have to be. They prefer to work with total negative entropy, so you can learn this type of things. But you are, and Vesely gives the lesson. You will become like them at the end. And so the operation ends, and I'm sorry, there is a ring on my door, so I have to open again, and I will finish the story. Apologies. So to finish, to work with some type of energies, you become like that energies. So to work with some kind of ascended grandmaster, you might pay the price of working with the grandmaster. Yeah, but at the end of the ritual is that Vesely decides not to pursue the question, but he practically says to him, "Thank you, Mr. Yakel, for your knowledge and everything. Please, you might go." And he tells him, uh, and he tells me, "You are right, Joseph, uh, because if this connection will take a little bit longer, that parasitic thing will break the window. It's still there." And he hears that small eerie sound again, and he decides to interrupt the connection. Yeah. Then he goes with the cleansing rituals and so on. So this is just a small example of of a ritual that is working with the spirits of the dead. So before you do it, yeah, be ready. I mean, but to answer your question, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible, although dangerous. But maybe not everyone is like Sorcerer Yakel. Yeah, if you are trying to work with Plato or someone, but I never tried. Okay, so I think the stream is quite long now. I thank you very much for your patience, and I will be back probably next week. I will try to continue and speak more about Goetia. We have now moved from the we spoke a little bit about this uh, the Holy Daimon. If you are really interested in the topic, this is just scratching the surface. So I recommend to you to read some books like Frater Acker or look at the Wikipedia. But the book Holy Daimon, it's a book that is still possible to get by Scarlet Imprint, is a valuable one. Yeah. So that's interesting thing. So thank you very much, and stay safe.